I just need y'all to understand that it was like 5 in the morning when this update came in. Oh my god. Alright, let's get into this. What's going on, guys? Goose the 13th here with another quick update. We have a news development letter for May 2022 here. We got the Delta Plus as our new suit coming out for this week. Another transformable suit, unicorn of course. Looking to be a raid this time. So a 650 ground space transformable raid prototype that inherits the bloodline of Plan Zeta developed by Anaheim Electronics. And we will check out the video real quick right here. So, seems pretty standard in terms of the kind of stuff that it's going to be able to do. Pretty flexible. I don't know if it's going to be a Rabawu killer. Especially, I don't even know why I'm saying that considering that it's already going to be a raid. But, if people really gel with it pretty well, they'll have the weekend to get accustomed to it and potentially bring it into clan matches. And we'll just have to see where it goes from there. Still, it is nice to see this. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are just straight up fans of the suit itself who are just really excited to get their hands on the Delta Plus, and also the fact that we're still getting through some of the cooler suits before the actual Gundams and all that themselves from Unicorn. Now, the big thing for me is that we're actually getting a new map. Finally, another ground map, of course, but it is supply based, so finally maybe we can actually kill all of those bronze crates. The interesting thing here is that although they're showing us some screenshots of this area, and the big draw here is that the map is built in a desert area that consists of an above ground area where various facilities are constructed and an underground area where supplies are stored. Each area has its own characteristics, yada yada yada. The big thing here is that there's, out of all these screenshots and stuff, there's no overmap. So we don't know what the actual layout of it's going to be this time around. But this seems to be a combination of not necessarily underground base. I would almost say it's more akin to some of the underground stuff from like the old port base, like under bits and whatnot. Kind of nice to have this little path in the area here. The top just looks like a military base, to be honest, which is fine. A couple hangars to hang out in, as well as some more perfect spots for supports and stuff on all the rooftops. Definitely gonna be interested in seeing generally just the size of this place and what it's gonna be like in that regard. We're looking at the underground area here real quick. So the underground area is a small area for storing supplies, so it's suitable for fighting battles. Basically, the battle is fought on the ground area, but it is recommended to use it temporarily, withdrawing from the front line to surprise attacks by its stealth aircraft. If you can't tell by some of this, we actually didn't get an English post for this right away, so this is just a rough Google Translate and things like that. But in general, it looks pretty neat. Just kind of glad that we're gonna have another place to put in the rotation. The one thing that I'm keeping in mind at this point is that, at least for the times that I play later on in the evening, and sometimes if I have to catch up during the morning, I'm not really seeing any of the variations of port base, vanilla, wet, or otherwise, in there. Military port, because of some of the performance stuff, is still kind of put in there, but not as often. Typically, you don't really get it in a lot of the random ground stuff. It does, on occasion, have some lower cost posts for it in rated and whatnot, but I do hope that they don't introduce this and either phase out another map that just doesn't get in the rotation for the map selections as much, or this doesn't get shelved very soon after it's actually introduced. So we'll have to see how that turns out. But looking forward to running around in this. This main update is actually going to be for this week. As always, when they do these updates, it's usually the week of. So May 26th, look forward to both a new map and the new suit, which is also going to be pretty nice. Now, beyond this, we have some extra closing thoughts here. We have an event that's going to be coming up for Battle Operation 2 related to the new Gundam movie, which is Dawn's Island. So they're going to be doing some limited missions. The actual premiere in theaters worldwide is going to be June 3rd. So we still got a little bit of time for this. Hopefully the limited mission is gonna be pretty, I wouldn't say extensive, but hopefully it goes for a good minute. Also, let me know if you're actually gonna be checking out the movie, because for as much as they're packing in it, oh man, I'm not gonna pass that up. That's gonna be good. And also, the 26th is actually gonna be a little bit of a busy day on top of this new stuff coming in for GBO2, which I'm sure they're going to say in this. In fact, I wonder if they were kind of front-loading this with the map and all that because they knew they were going to be doing stuff for Gundam Fest. So Gundam Game Fest is something that they've done before, and they're going to be doing it again this year. On the 26th for us, they are going to be... Let me check here. Second announcement of broadcast program. So broadcast, hopefully that means they're actually going to be streaming it. But we will be seeing stuff for SD Gundam Battle Alliance, Gundam Evolution, as well as GBO2. Depending on where I'm at and what's going on for that, I'll probably be streaming it if it's actually going to be live streamed. And I'll do, you know, just a watch along or whatever. The bigger thing for me that I want to know, especially since we're relating this to GBO2, is whether or not they are going to just talk about what we just saw in the dev letter here, and of course, you know, mention the anniversary or whatnot. I'm sure that's going to be in there, but I do wonder if they're going to give us some more information about the PC network test and what they're going to be doing with that. Definitely got my fingers crossed for that. And outside of that, the bigger thing for Gundam Evolution, I would assume, is probably going to be the console test, and then hopefully we'll get an actual release date for Battle Alliance. Once again, fingers crossed for the PC network test. Hopefully we find out more about that. And that will be all for this one. It's actually a little bit short, despite it actually introducing some pretty big stuff. I'm assuming that we'll probably see at least a fair amount of unit updates and stuff in this, since it's going to be the update for the end of the month. And the other thing to keep in mind is that right after we do clan matches for 650, 700 is going to be following. And it's going to be in the same week, which does make me wonder that next banner next week, whether or not we're going to get something kind of big for that cost range or not. Fingers crossed for 700. It's been a little sparse. A lot of the earlier unicorn stuff, of course, is going to be 650 and below. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple more gets shoved into 700, but I'm hoping it happens sooner rather than later instead of us having to wait for anniversary itself. So definitely excited for that. Well, that'll be all for today. Hopefully I'll see you guys out there in the battlefield. And until next time, have a good one.